back to Thinking Thanks Tuesday. With me, Zoliswa or Xhosa Chick, whichever you wanna call me. Hi, welcome back, family. And yeah, thank you for all the love and the support on this channel. And welcome to our new family members. Say hi. And thank you for all the love and the support. Welcome to the channel where we discuss current affairs. We discuss what's happening with the news, whether it's online news. We discuss what news are trending, local or international, whatever news which caught our eyes, that's what we discuss here. So we discuss current affairs. And as you all know, we've got our regular suspects, which we keep on following their cases, how they're progressing. For example, your Nandipha, your Dr. Nandipha Bester saga, your Senzo Meyiwa saga, and just to name the few which are regular encounters. So for today, family, like any other week, we go into our topics or discussions for this week. And yeah, this week we saw again Dr. Nandipha. She was still in court, and she will be in court again next week. So Dr. Nandipha is going for her bail hearing. That's what we understand. So with her, let's see, what do we know? So Dr. Nandipha bail hearing, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana will be going to court again next week, Monday, to go find out more about her bail hearing. So she'll be spending another week behind bars until the magistrate's court rules on her bail application. So we know that one of the things which came out while on a bail hearing, a trial, is that she was taken out of her will here by Bester. So she claimed that she was kidnapped when she left the country with Bester. She claimed that she misses her children. She haven't seen her children. So she was very fragile this time around, as we said last week. She wasn't that strong, not fear for nothing. So she was being fragile. She was being, remorse, or I don't know, whatever she was playing on this time. So we know, so on the Bester saga this time around, it's Dr. Nandipha Magudumana on a bail hearing. And yeah, she's tried everything she can. She convinced a judge that she deserves a bail or so on. And yeah, but then the other case is that she is already seen as a flight risk, high flight risk, because when they were caught with Bester, they were caught in another country with more than one passport and all of those. So those things will also count towards her bail hearing application, whether really should the state trust this person to say she won't run away, she won't forget her children again when she gets bail and then decide to flee the country. So all of those things are the ones which are counting against her now, that okay. And for the fact that maybe when she got here, she didn't lay charges against Bester on the basis of she was kidnapped. That's why she went out of the country. So nothing like that. She didn't do nothing like that. So the fact of her being kidnapped doesn't have any proof or evidence to support it. So it's her saying that she was kidnapped, but with no proof of evidence to support it. So there's a lot of, from her side, there's a lot which could make her case weak. And the claims which she's claiming now are not that strong to say that she will get the bail. She will get bail, but we shall see how it goes next week, if she will get the bail or not. And apparently, I'm not sure, it was her birthday one of these days when she was in court. So yeah, with those some borrowed people brought a cake with her, I don't know, some on those lines. Anyway, there was nothing dramatic, just the fact that experts thinks that she's not really insane, whatever we saw her doing, crying, being vulnerable, and so on. So experts believe she was just being manipulative because she was not that person few weeks ago when she was with the whole crew. And now all of a sudden when she's by herself, she wants everybody to feel sorry for her. So that's what's happening with Dr. Nandipha. She is waiting to hear about her bail hearing, which we'll all find out next week, Monday. And that will be in the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court. And we moved our next story from Dr. Nandipha. Let's look at our Senzo Meyiwa. So our next story, Senzo Meyiwa trial as well. So we're still on the justice for Senzo hashtag and all of those. And on the Senzo case now, we know that there's been new witnesses been called, there's been forensic investigators recalled. So Thabo Bester, the forensic investigator, was recalled back to the stand again because there were mistakes with his records. The scene was compromised, and his statement didn't make sense because somewhere he wrote that he was there 6 hours before, only to find out he was there 6 hours after at the crime scene and so on. And then for his defense, for his statement records not being consistent, he says that is that he didn't have his pocketbook. So whatever he says when he doesn't have his pocketbook, it surely is not the actual answer. It's one of those guessing answers which he just estimates it out. So maybe when he was giving a certain statement, he didn't have his pocketbook to give the actual records, so that's why he writes his, and then even his records in the pocketbook were questioned as well. So there was bad records, or the timekeeping was just not on with Thabo Bester, which was the forensic investigator. So when it comes, he does a lot of guesswork, as we heard, so that's why he was recalled on the stand. Bad records or timekeeping. And then we also know there will be a new witness taking a stand. So what took place, which was interested, is Buthelezi, who is accused Bongani, who's accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi's friend, told the High Court in Pretoria that Ntanzi had told him he was arrested for illegal possession of ammunition and for killing the former Bafana Bafana captain. Okay, however, under cross-examination, Buthelezi changed his tune, saying Ntanzi had said it was the police who said he and his friends, which was the friend was, what was the friend's name? Okay, I can't seem to. Okay, the friend's name was Mampisa. So apparently the police said he and his friend Mampisa had killed the football star. So from what we heard is, at first it was said that the Jack Buthelezi, who is accused to Bongani Ntanzi's friend, told the High Court in Pretoria that Ntanzi had told him he was arrested for illegally in possession of an ammunition and for killing former Bafana. So he told his friend that he was arrested for killing the Bafana captain. And then, however, in court he said that the police said they were arrested. The police told them that they were arrested for killing the Bafana captain. So that was one of the things which were different now. So it changed from them 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 saying that they were arrested for the crime, and them being saying that the police says that they committed the crime. So it was one of those which was the confusing part and so on. So we still don't know who killed Senzo, and we still want to know more. But we still will still follow the Senzo Meyiwa case. I think it's still an ongoing one of those cases. But look, to be honest, for now at least there's something or there's news from Senzo's case at least every week or every day, even if it just leaves you on a more confused or you can't even put the pieces together. Because 1 minute is these people they've never met, and then on the next minute there's records showing that these people actually have contacted each other. And with the Thabo Bester forensic investigator as well, with his recordings and so on, it even went as bad as the photos taken. Apparently he showed 10 photos which was taken at the crime scene, but then it seems like there were more pictures taken. So with the Thabo Bester, the forensic investigator, they didn't do justice, if we have to say the truth, when it comes to this matter. Because I believe should he investigate the scene and everything properly, should he have recorded everything properly, maybe we wouldn't be so confused now. At least the people will have an idea how the crime scene was, what was laying around in the crime scene based on the photos as well, whereby you could see maybe these people were really just sitting or these people were not really sitting. All of those would have helped. But then if the forensic investigator also does a horrible job in gathering the evidence and the information, so he is to blame for whatever outcomes which this case finds itself in now. Whether we can't really say who's who in the jungle, who really killed who. Because 1 minute now we thought, okay, maybe it might be a hit. Then the next minute we think it was somebody from the house which did it. And then the next thing it shows that, we don't know nothing now. So that's what's happening with Senzo. We're still following the case. We still want to find out more of what happened with Senzo. And yeah. And our next case, as we move on, there was also, okay, let's do Mkhwebane as well, seeing that Mkhwebane is one of our regular suspects. So Mkhwebane, the latest with the PP is Mkhwebane was blocked from entering office. So Mkhwebane, was it yesterday or Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. Well, marched back to work saying that the inquiry commission was done with its investigation. So yeah, now she believes that she must go back to her position. And when she got there, she was told, no, Sissy, you can't come back to work because now the inquiry commission has recommended the matter to Parliament, to the National Assembly. So now she must wait until next week, Monday, to hear whether I don't know whether she will be going back to her position as the public protector or she'll be impeached. And I'm not sure why she went back to her work, because I really thought she was done. I really thought that with all of these interviews going on, and where we all know who's going to be the next public protector, that she's going to chill now, because how many weeks now? September, October, then her time is already done. So, and by doing so, by going to work yesterday or in the other day, and believing whatever she believed or understood, whatever she understood, the matter also plays in the confirmation of whoever her critics were saying about how she interprets the law. because now it kind of feels like sometimes the law says this, but then she understands it her own way or so on, because that was one of the arguments which they had on her, is that her understanding or her interpretation of certain matters do kind of confuses certain institutions. So yeah, because that's what's one of the, because she said, she went to mean and with the to work with the, because of, based on the presidential minutes. So the presidential minutes was saying maybe she was suspended pending the finalization of the inquiry commission. So she understood that the inquiry commission was final now, so she had a right to go back to work, only to find out that no, that was not what it meant. So the inquiry commission is final, but then the same inquiry commission has recommended the matter to the National Assembly now. So the decision now whether she is still the public protector or not is going to be heard by the National Assembly. And we also know that in the National Assembly, the ANC and the DA are on the same side when it comes to Mkhwebane's position as the public protector. So we will only know how the matter will go next week on Monday, after the National Assembly has met or is gathered to decide on her fate now. And one of the things, quite, I don't want to preempt you, that one of the things which was said though, that should she be impeached though, that's gonna, if she eventually gets an impeachment, it's gonna be bad for her, because now she won't be able to hold or to have any public position or whatever, but it will affect her career, if I have to say so myself. I'm not sure, but then being impeached is going to reflect bad on her career record. Then for her, she just let it slide, I don't know, and just go on with life. And then we finish with Mkhwebane now. And from Mkhwebane, we go to Omotoso. So we also know Omotoso, it's one of the news stories which we have picked up along the way. And we know Omotoso, Timothy Omotoso, is that evangelist from Gqeberha, which was Port Elizabeth before, which has been accused, which has 96 charges, which of racketeering, money laundering, rape, and all of those crimes. But the defense advocate, which by the name of Peter de Duberman, is strongly saying that his client didn't do what he is accused of. His client and his two accused are actually not the people these witnesses saying that they were. So it says that defense advocate Peter Duberman listed all the reasons why he deemed that the trial to be unfair towards his clients. So his clients, which is the Timothy Omotoso, Lusanda Sulan, and Zukiswa Sito. So it's the reason why it says that the the Peter Duberman, which is the defense advocate, wants the case to be dropped because of inconsistent statements from the witnesses. And the the testimonies kept on changing because apparently they were coerced, or there was somebody which was working against Omotoso by the name of Nceba Ntelwa. I'm not sure whether Nceba Ntelwa is one of the what role he was playing in the matter, but now he's been accused or so on. The witness testimonies changed by the influence of Nceba Ntelwa, and there was not enough evidence. So 96 charges, not enough evidence. demetriment of Omotoso, defense advocate listed all the, okay. We all know, so we know that defense advocate is defending the the pastor, the priest, or whatever they call him, saying that everything which is said about him and the two other accused are not true. The reason why the witnesses were saying all of those things which was saying is because they were influenced by Nceba Ntelwa, which was working towards the downfall of Timothy Omotoso. So as you can see, some of the witness statements were inconsistent. So they are arguing based on those lines that the case should be dropped, so there shouldn't be a case against Omotoso and these two people. What do I think of this? I really don't know. This is one of the new cases which was taken on, which seems they've been going on for long, but then they haven't been really going any far. So we will keep an eye on the matter and see how it goes. And yes, I will try to do more justice to go try to find out more about the case and see if I can also have it 1 cent or 2 cents of what I think of the matter. And now we move to the next story. And our next story, so we finished Senzo, we finished Nandipa, Omotoso, Mkhwebane. And our next story is the cash in transit criminal shootout with police. So, gosh, another one happened again. They say there was a police shootout which 19 died. A major shooting in Luastrichat, Limpopo. Police there shot dead 19 cash in transit heist suspects, and one police was injured. So apparently, when the police have been doing an investigation on this house or in these people, and on this day, which was, I'm not sure which day was this, the police came in, there was a shootout, a whole 90 minutes of a shootout between, apparently the majority of these people were Zimbabweans nationalities, and there was a shootout, and then that's where the police shot 19 people, and then one police was injured as well. So within those 19 people, 2 were female and 16 were males. So apparently they were planning on robbing a cash depot. They were planning on a cash depot heist or something. So that's what they were planning when the police interfered or interrupted them and the whole shootout happened. And also police believe the gang is part of a syndicate which is responsible for cash in transit heist in Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo. And I think that's what we have when it comes to the... So the only thing now which they pursue with when it comes to this cash transit matter is people are still going to go and identify the bodies of the loved ones and so on. And also the police were still trying to put the puzzles together, so of who in the jungle, because there were domestic workers, there were garden workers, all in that mixture of a shootout. So they really don't know who's really the main man there or what. So that's what was happening. There was a shootout with the police, 19 people died, and it was all related to cash depot hit, which was supposed to happen in, yeah. And we move on to the next story. And another story now, I had to cool myself before doing this one. I think, was it Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday when we woke up, or I'm not sure, I don't even want to lie, I'm not sure, when we woke up and we heard about the Johannesburg fire. So more than 70 killed in a building fire in Johannesburg. where 200 people, plus minus 200 people, were left homeless overnight. So that was the 30th of August. That's when this happened. So when we woke up, we saw images on our screens of a building burning like there was no tomorrow. We saw how this now people are burned beyond recognition. So with that whole building burned down, apparently, as we've all heard now so far, it was a hijacked building, which the building first was a shelter. First, before it was a shelter, it was a not Lindela or something, but then it was a government building. Then from government, it was given to an NGO, and then it was used as it was called Usindiso place, which was a women and children shelter. And then from there, from that place, from the shelter, it became this hijacked building where people started to stay inside. So they said inside the building, people, it's not just like you get your own room, it's a proper room, you've got your door and everything. People were building structures, informal structures inside the building. So the reason why so many people died, it's because the building inside was not proper for people to stay in, because the living conditions inside the building were just terrible. And yeah, so people divided their houses inside the building with cardboards, with ceiling boards, whatever you can divide your. And also the reason why so many people died is because apparently the gates were locked, so people couldn't move freely. And also the building, there was no water to switch off the fire. And they also suspect that the reason there was a fire in the first place, it's because it might be illegal connections, electricity connections. It might be somebody which started the fire inside the building, because as I'm telling you, they say the structures of the building inside, it's something which whereby you wouldn't want anybody to be part of. So that's one of the reasons. And now, seeing that the whole horrible incident happened, people are crying, families are hurt, and it's just a mess, because a lot of people died. There were children which were part in that. Now, when it was time for a cleanup, yes, politicians went to the scene. We even saw our president as well there. And now I don't know how to take it, because I kind of feel like, yes, it was wrong for the people to stay there. But then in the same breath is, why was there no measures done for the people not to be part of that damage? Because it's not like people started to stay there 6 months ago, or what, they have years and years of staying in that building. There's even court orders and court whatever which was given to NGOs. And then when apparently it feels like when the government wants to evict people, and then they get a court order saying that you can't evict these people, instead of the government going and go find a loophole, or going and do what the law says, that you can only evict these people if you find them a proper place to stay, where the government can go back and go find a place where they could move these people. The government just stopped, whereby we tried and we were stopped, and there was nothing which we could do. If the government itself can't challenge its policies and its laws, who's supposed to challenge it? Because you can't tell me as a government you are taken to court by an NGO, and the NGO wins the court order, and you just come back and fold your arms and say, oh, there's nothing we can do now, let them deal with themselves. If you honestly feel like what you were fighting for, or what you took that others to court for, was lawful and reasonable, why don't you try a different angle? Why don't you try to do something different? So, because the law tells us that you don't stop until the fat lady sings, maybe. But anyway, now what is left is people are going around. I don't know, there's a certain mortuaries which are appointed by the government for families to go look at or view bodies, identify bodies. So that's what the survivors now are doing. And some survivors are still sitting outside the building trying to see if they can salvage any belongings from the building, which the authorities told them has told them not to do so because that's could be dangerous. You don't know how the state of the building is now, so they're not allowed to go inside the building. They're just sitting across the road, just watching the building, hopefully hoping that they will be able to go inside. And so on the mat is 9 families have identified the bodies of their loved ones, and then 60 bodies have burned beyond recognition. So the 60 bodies, you can't even see who it was, they burned beyond recognition. And yeah, and another is this: displaced victims refuse to be relocated. The people which were staying on that building, some of them don't want to don't want to move to shelters. That's what as I was saying, some are still camped outside or across the building, across the road from the building, hoping to salvage some items inside the building, and so, or hoping that they will be allowed to go back into the building. And one of the things which we find out from, yes, there were South Africans among the people which were in the building. I'm not sure from the ones which have passed away how many South Africans are there, but then the majority of the people were our brothers and sisters from countries like your Malawi and so on. So, and some of them, yes, they are undocumented. So they don't have proper documents, or they don't have documents at all. So I will say the different departments, or the Department of Home Affairs is working with the different embassies to try to work with them and get maybe the undocumented ones some documents. So we don't know how that process is going or how it will go, because now they need to find a way to identify with the ones which are identifiable, and also be able to start planning or preparing for burial services. Because how are those people going to be buried in their countries of birth, or are they just going to be buried here in South Africa, even if they're not South Africans? We don't know. So at the present moment, after the fire and everything took place, the NGOs, government officials, everybody was on the scene, and everybody said they too sent. Others even went as far as blaming apartheid again. So yeah, we just want to blame anything and everything but ourselves as the government for not doing enough for the people, or for not taking care. Now put aside the people, now taking care of the country, because whatever infrastructures are here, they are part of the government's problem, because the government is taking care of the country. The government is the one which is supposed to maintain the country. So if one department is going to say it's not our fault, it's that one's fault, it's that one which didn't do that, and how do we vote for these parties if we're going to be the ones suffer? Because the ANC is going to say, it's not our fault. We haven't been in charge of the Gauteng for a very, very long time. This is DA's fault. And the DA is going to say, but then every a move we're trying to make, the ANC is blocking us and taking us to court, so we can't really do nothing. And on that matter, it hasn't been only us. How about the other mayors which have been mayors of Gauteng, which don't even last a week or 3 weeks the most? In Gauteng, we know there's a problem of leadership. Nobody is really in charge of Gauteng. So we shall see how they fix this one. And hopefully it's not gonna be now that this happened and they realize there's a problem, because it's not more than one building which is hijacked. Apparently there's few hundred buildings which are hijacked, and which the government, because if they know how many, actually they know how there are buildings which have been hijacked, and those people which are staying on those conditions, it's not like they were not paying. Some of them were paying rent to whoever was there to collect the rent, and but not providing any services for those people. So who is collecting the rent there? Aren't they supposed to arrest the person which is taking financial advantage of those people? Because he's the one which made himself a landlord or a landlady, whatever they call themselves. So shouldn't be the person which gets arrested for all of that which happened in that building, for the death which happened there, for the fire which happened there, because he took over the ownership of the building when he was collecting monies from all of those people staying there. So we shall see how that one goes with the Johannesburg fire, and we still say condolences to all the families which lost their loved ones, because it is terrible, it is bad. Most people lost even more than one family member. It doesn't matter whether they are from what country. The fact remains is it's poor people. It kind of feels like we don't care anymore. It kind of feels like people are doing anything and everything to survive, even if they know this is going to put themselves in trouble or this is going to put their lives at risk, as long as they can survive one more day. So come on, it's so sad. But now, when the problem happens, that's when we're going to talk about, oh, we need to look at these matters. This is not how our people supposed to live. Oh, making all the right noises, but no solutions at all. Anyway, we move from South African problems, which we shall see how we vote next year, if we want to still experience the same problems or we want change. And that change is not really, really convincing. And now we move to the coup. We were still busy doing the Niger coup the last time we were doing a coup. But to be honest, as on the Niger coup, tens of thousands of Niger coup supporters are camped outside a military base in the capital, demanding the departure of hundreds of French troops. Relations between Niger and former colonial power France have deteriorated since President Mohamed Bazoum was forced out in a coup. So that's what is happening. So thousands of people are still camped outside the France capital. Okay, what says a thousand of Niger supporters are camped outside the military base in the capital. So they're camped outside the military base, where inside there's thousands of this France troops, and they want them out. So we shall see on that one. And on the same, France is still holding its foil down and saying that it's not going anywhere, it's not leaving that country. So, and the coup junta was saying, yeah, they're ready to take over. They're ready to lead the country to a better country. So they want France out. And in the same breath, with the coup going on in Africa, apparently, I just saw this one when we were almost finishing. There's a coup in Gabon as well. Gabon's leader Ali Bongo is our latest coup leader, president, which has been taken now under coup, and we're still checking that matter as well. But then the Bongo family in Gabon, we know that this one, the Ali Bongo, is the son, and the father was also a president in Gabon till he passed away. And then after he passed away, then the leader, Ali Bongo, became the president. And yes, now that apparently they are very rich, they made their fortune with, I believe, oil. So yeah, that's what's happening in Africa. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing with all of these coups popping up everywhere. But if it means that it's gonna change, it's gonna bring new hope and new change to the people, then fine. Because one thing which these people are complaining about is the fact that most of these leaders, when they are leading, they forget about the people and start to enrich themselves, and the people just becomes more poor, and the people just keeps on losing hope in the country, and the president just keeps on going as if everything is honky-dory. And yeah, so that's what gets the people pissed off at the end of the day. So is these coups good for Africa? Will they change anything? I don't know.